The world is a dangerous place, and right now it does not seem as if we're going to be stepping back from that edge anytime soon. This is the Urban Sentinel, and let's get into it. Not that long ago, I did a video on body armor, and my suggestion is that everyone should try to acquire body armor for themselves and for people in their household, their group. Granted, with the cost of things, not everyone can afford to have off-the-shelf body armor purchased and, just be done with it, because you do have to spend some money. With that being said, I also looked into the different videos about DIY body armor, and that's what this video is about. I wanted something that was affordable, could be effectively acquired in preferably one location, a hardware store, and could be put together with very rudimentary tools, a decent pair of scissors, a ruler or some type of measuring tape, a pen, marker, something else like that, and a little bit of patience, and you should be able to assemble what I've put together with the items that I have. And I'll run through those with the cost items as they were. Now, because the plates that I'm working on are designed to go inside a plate carrier vest, which I did not own, I had to buy one. This is from Rothco. It has an interior pocket in the front and in the rear to hold the plates. It has MOLLE strapping to make it more functional when adding other things onto it. It comes with the side panel cummerbund attachment. I put that off when I was working on it. This way it was a little bit more flexible for me to move the vest around and adjust things. Adjustable shoulder straps on here, and you can adjust at the waist. So with this being the largest purchase, this was $80. Now, the next up was a roll of Gorilla Tape, duct tape. I think this was $12 at my big box hardware store. This, I will say, is free because I bought it a long time ago, but I bought it at Harbor Freight. They are 32-gallon black heavy-duty contractor bags. They're plastic bags. The primary purpose for these is they are made of low-density polyethylene, and polyethylene is one of the materials that is used in a lot of the modern anti-ballistic materials. They use a higher density, but the low density still has a good strength, weight, and resilience to it. The next component, polycarbonate plates. And again, I've watched several different videos, other content creators out there testing these things out. These are 8 by 10, 0.093 thick. Now, I bought 8 total, but I used 3 in the initial build of it. So that would bring the thickness, if you look at it, like this. But I didn't just take these 3 plates and throw them into the black plastic bag. And I'll show you what I did. So one of the first things is you take the garbage bag, you open it up completely. Because of the way they're folded up, it has several nice creases on it. Good pair of scissors, and you cut down the entire length along one crease, then along the bottom at the seam, and then back up the entire length along the second crease. So you cut it in half. So now you have 2 halves. Then taking one of the panels, I initially centered it, but it was a little bit off. So I found that the easiest thing to do is when I took the panel, now you can kind of see the seams from the fold where the bag had been folded up. Really, I just placed it about 4 to 5 inches from the very bottom. I took one of the seams, folded it over, then folded that whole half over, and then that final part over. You got a little bit of excess here, not a big deal. I tucked that in, made the next fold, the next fold, the next fold, got it to this. Now, the key thing, utilizing the duct tape, turn this a little bit. Now, there's going to be a little bit of air in there. It's going to feel a little loose, but as long as you have decent tight folds, it's not going to make that much of a difference. putting the duct tape on, going around one of the edges just to hold it. Flip it over. Get this side going. Put it like this. Now, with the entire process covering everything, it probably took me about 3 minutes per plate. Now, I'm just showing you this quickly as the example. This is the one right here, just did. These are the 3 ones that I already put together. Now, as you can see, covered and sealed up inside all the way around. So the polycarb plate is inside the plastic bag, multiple layers of that wrapped around it, and then the duct tape. The next thing that I did was, instead of leaving them loose inside, I took 2 heavy-duty vinyl flooring tiles, the self-adhesive type, measured out the shape of the vest at the width and the top, because even though the vest appears wider here, the pocket to go in is only so many inches wide in here, and then it tapers off up towards the top of the vest. So I made that cut adjustment, utilized the duct tape, and made a sleeve. Now with this, drop one in, drop the next one in, a little wiggle room. And you put the third one in, getting it lined up a little bit. So what you'd have is this closed up in here, and then be able to take the vest itself, open it up, and the pocket space on the inside. Wiggle it in. This one has an elastic, almost like a retaining strap built into it. I'm trying to maneuver around it a little bit. Get that in there. Boom, boom. Close it back up. So now, those 3 plates inside the little pocket, tucked up inside here. Good to go on that. Now, the plate carrier vest, $70. Well, actually we'll say $80, probably a little bit closer to that. The polycarb plates were $7 a piece. I have 8 of them. And then looking at the fact that I'm only going to utilize 3 in the front and then I'll put 3 into the back. So we're looking at $42 for that total for the 6, on top of the money for the vest, and then the cost of the Gorilla Tape, and then the contractor bags, which I can't really remember, but I'll say at the time that I bought them, probably around $12 or so. Overall, all that together is going to be just at or about 100 and looks like 50 bucks, more or less. I just wrote down the numbers real quick. Now, the vest is a little loose here, mostly because all the weight now is in the front and there's nothing in the back. Once I've made the other 3 plates and put them into a sleeve and stuck it in the back, that'll balance it out, and then I can readjust the shoulder straps and readjust the waist on it as well. Now with this, better than nothing is the way I look at it. If you don't have body armor, you're just going to have to deal with not having body armor. This, better than not having any at all. Now sure, if I can go out and spend the money and get some high quality body armor, I definitely will. But in the interim, or in the case of emergency, this is a relatively expedient way to do it. The entire process to make those first 3 plates for me probably took me about 15 minutes total. Most of it was measuring out and then cutting everything. And it was the plastic for the contractor bags and doing a little bit of the cutting for the floor tiles that I made the sleeve from it. Now, with that being said, I want to do 2 things, and I definitely will need your help on it. First, I want to give a shout out to 2 specific channel creators, Hootie Who and One Shot TV, because between both of their channels, I've watched and gotten a lot of information that kind of helped me out with this idea that I had in the first place. So if any of you follow them, pass this information on, share this video with them, because what I'd like them to do is actually make it and then test it out, because I do not have a range that will allow me to bring in outside material to shoot at. A lot of ranges don't, mostly because of insurance liability. They don't want the mess, they don't want the hassle, they don't want something destroying their range or injuring someone. So I have no way to get a good gauge on how effective my design setup is. The other thing that I want to do is I'm going to send out a challenge. I will mention one particular company, Mirror Safety, only because I'm affiliated with them, but this is not an affiliated sponsored video whatsoever. But if there are any other ballistic and body armor companies out there, I'm curious to know, what do you think about the concept idea of making ballistic plates in a fashion that, in theory, the vest gets hit, the first plate takes damage, maybe the second plate takes a little bit of damage, but it's still good, and the third plate is untouched. You can then pull the pocket out, remove that damaged plate, drop in a new plate, put that at the back, and then rotate them forward. So now that second plate becomes the front one, and again, as it takes more damage, you pull that out, put a new one in. It could be something more beneficial, because you may have a situation where, one, when you have a ceramic plate or you've gotten a polyethylene plate and it's taken significant damage to the point where it's not going to be effective, the entire unit is done for. If you have a steel plate, well, if you have a steel plate on and it's taking sufficient damage and you're still alive, well, I understand, thumbs up on that. But this might be something that could be worked out for people that are looking to get high quality body armor that's more affordable, and it gives them a little bit more longevity. Now, I am in no way suggesting that you go out there and just stand there and take bullets like Superman, but we all know, especially watching the news, you're never going to be 100% sure when something does happen, if you're lucky enough to have body armor and have it on, exactly what's going to happen once the bullets start flying. So with that being said, again, thank you for watching this. And if you could do that one solid favor for me, like, comment on this video, share this video, especially if you can get it to those two guys, One Shot TV and Hootie Who, and anyone with Mirror Safety. If you're watching this, again, I just want to know, what do you think of it as a concept? Is it something that you've looked at before and you said, no, we're not going to do that? Or is this something that you might be able to work into your new product line and things like that? So until then, catch you guys in the next one.